We got TC, movies, popcorn.
I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn.
Just the best. Also one of the longest journeys for a smile in Hollywood. TC had some unstraight, probably a dead tooth, canted, needed some orthodontics, things like that. Sort of did things out of order for how I would plan on treating this case. I would have started with ortho to get his teeth in alignment so that if he was going to do anything restorative like crowns, veneers, anything like that, things would be where they should be. He didn't do that. What he did do was do what a lot of people in Hollywood do and immediately just put a bunch of veneers and crowns on top of their teeth to make them look like a white sheet of paper straight across the front. But that leads to issues down the line and the fact that his bite was probably off, and most significantly, his midline was off. Now, it looks like he got crowns done and then tried to do ortho after. Probably wasn't as effective because crowns, you can't bond to crowns as well with ortho, and your teeth aren't going to move as much because the crowns might be moving, but the roots underneath are not. So your teeth are still going to be under alignment or out of alignment. So the number one thing that I noticed from Tom Cruise is that his midline is off. And what that means is in the center of his front two teeth, it lines up to the left of the midline of his face. So normally the midline would be right here, kind of in the middle of the nose, coming down, and would intersect with the middle of the teeth. His is shifted to his left. Now what they try to do to compensate for that is cant the teeth, meaning taking the midline, since the midline's off, tilt all of the teeth in alignment like that to make it appear as though the midline's more set up with his natural midline of his face. If we can get, there's our guy. Look at him. Look at TC. You can see how the midline of his face, and I can tell that he's had a bunch of crowns removed. That's an old PFM crown there, a porcelain fused to metal that he's had replaced. But the midline is shifted, and they've also canted his overall smile as an appearance to be more centered. So even though he's got some new crowns there, you can tell it's still just off by a titch on where his midline is. But he's probably had about 5 or 6 sets of crowns. His midline, without orthodontics, you're not going to shift it. So his restorative dentist is kind of working behind the 8 ball, trying to get his midline back to where it should be. But without actually shifting his teeth, it's just always going to be a little bit off. But, I'm not going to sit here and criticize TC. He's given us so much joy over the years. He's just movies popcorn, baby. He's the best.